Hi, this is Glenn Springfield bringing you another success hack for you and your business. Today, I want to talk about self-discipline. Now, discipline is the ability to do what you ought to do when nobody's making you do it. Self-discipline is an element, a very important element of success. Without self-discipline, people are not going to be successful. So you really have no option, if you're going to be successful in business, to master this. Now, it begins with understanding the value of keeping your word. Now, when you say keeping your word, a lot of people think, okay, that means telling the truth and not being a liar. But what we're really talking about, what I'm really talking about, is keeping your commitments. So when you say you're going to do something, do it. What we're talking about is the value of your word. Now, when other people in your world hear you make a commitment, does that mean to them that they can bank on it? That they know 100% of the time you're going to keep your word? It's important. But there's a more important question, a more important subject to delve into here. It's when you tell yourself you're going to do something, do you believe you? So we all know that around the first of the year, gym memberships go high. People make New Year's resolutions. They commit to a new path. But we also know that after a month or two, gym attendance is right back where it was before the first of the year. Well, why is that? Commitments are easier to make than they are to keep. But keeping your commitments can become a habit. And that habit of keeping commitments, of keeping your word, of valuing your word, that habit is the difference between being able to be successful within a business or build a successful business. You have to be able to keep your word. So the first step in turning this around is realizing how important it is. Your word is very, very important. It stands for who you are. It represents what you're able to do and deliver. So when you say to yourself, I'm going to do something, if you don't do it, what you're doing is you're making your word weaker. So we're familiar with the term integrity. You know, that's somebody with high integrity. They do what they say they're going to do, very high integrity. But integrity has another meaning, which is the strength of a structure. How strong is something? Well, your word works like that, because when we break our word, when we break our commitment to ourselves, then our integrity gets weaker. Then our ability to do hard things gets weaker. And so we're in a downward spiral. So anytime we compromise what we know to do is right, and we compromise our integrity, we're compromising our ability to be successful. So you have to tie those two things together because they are absolutely connected. The strength of our word is so important. If we tell ourselves we're going to do something and we do it, our integrity grows. If we say we're going to do something that's hard, we get stronger. We can continue to get stronger. So I asked earlier, when people hear you make a commitment, do they believe you? But then the big question is, do you believe you? Well, when you create the habit of keeping your word no matter what, then pretty soon you're going to be more careful about the commitments you make, but you're also going to have higher levels of integrity, higher levels of strength, higher levels of commitment, because you know that if you say you're going to do it, it's as good as done. Because your word is strong. Your word is important. Your word is your most valuable asset. It's your integrity. It's what you build your life on, your relationship on, your family on, your business on. Nothing is more important than your word. If you cannot believe you, then who else is going to believe you? How are you going to convince somebody, anybody, of anything if you can't convince yourself? So we got to just start small. Don't make commitments that you're not going to keep. And then keep all your commitments, no matter how hard it is, no matter what you do. If you make a commitment. Now, if you make a foolish commitment, then you can renegotiate that commitment with yourself or with somebody else without breaking your word. You've got new information, so you need to make a new decision. That's not breaking a commitment. That's not breaking your word. Breaking your word is whenever you say, I'm going to quit eating junk food. I'm not going to eat any more fast food, but then you're hungry and there's Whataburger and pretty soon you got a burger in your face. That's breaking your word. There's no renegotiating that. You made a commitment, you were going to do something good for yourself, and then broke your commitment. Now, next time you're hungry and there's a Whataburger, it's going to be even harder to do the right thing. And yet, if you resist that temptation over and over and over and over again, then it gets where it's not even a temptation anymore. Because you know when you make a commitment, it's as good as done. So, hope I'm making the point. Your word is your most valuable asset. It's a matter of disciplining yourself, self-discipline, making yourself do what you ought to do, when you ought to do it, and not compromising your own integrity. That's all for now. Talk to y'all later.